firstly, I'd like to apologise for being in shorts. I was intending to head back to Auckland after today, as I had a very, very important garage horse up with the boys. But of course, we're given this wonderful, you guys are meant to laugh more at that, that was a joke. But we were given this wonderful opportunity a couple of hours ago to showcase our Pakihi Ecospace. So, of course, I was happy to cancel that. Very grateful to Waikato Tainui for giving us this opportunity and also giving us a vessel to be able to grow our business this weekend. On that note, we've thrown this presentation together with a couple of hours notice and a couple of hours sleep. We were up late last night watching the Warriors and discussing ChatGPT and conspiracy theories with a couple of the other members here. So I apologise if this comes off poorly. Who we are. So, my name is Gavin Barr. This is my brother Tane Barr. On my dad's side, I whakapapa to the Bars and the Briscoes. My old man grew up in Pirongia, and so we are from sort of the Waipa region there on his side. And on my mum's side, my whānau name is Tane and Rangitawa. So, yeah, that's our iwis, Waikato Tainui obviously, and Ngāti Maniapoto. Got a name drop here because we love them so much, and proud to be their sons. My mum actually used to work here for Waikato Tainui. Her name is Wikitoria Tane. And some of you might know my nan. My nan is. We might get asked to leave soon. And my nan as well. Some of you might know Pere Rangitawa. So that's our bloodline. Very proud to be from both sides of our whānau there. So that's us, yeah. Waikato hard, go the Chiefs. We come from a residential building background. Building is in the blood. Our old man was a chippy. He was a very hard worker, building houses as well. Definitely probably wouldn't have been our first career choice. Looking back at our childhood, he was a pretty hard bugger and it was a bit of a chore to be working for the old man, but unfortunately we lost him 10 years ago to cancer, so carrying on his legacy in this trade was an easy decision. So now we've got 3 brothers in the trade following in his footsteps. We're all very lucky to inherit some of his old school work ethic. Well, me and Tane, I don't know about my younger brother. I think Mum's spoiled him a bit too much. So yeah, that's us. We started doing residential renovations 3 years into that business, which was G-Bar Construction. I had a burning desire and gut feeling to do something that was more aligned with our values and belief systems. So early on, that was a discussion we had as a whānau to produce something more sustainable and environmentally conscious. We had discussion with our brothers and the old man around this time that trying to produce something that would assist with the housing crisis, getting people onto the property ladder in a quick, affordable, easy manner. And being of Māori descent, we also wanted to translate a lot of the values we have with tikanga Māori and embracing kaitiakitanga with our builds and the materials we use. So that's a bit of a background. Basically each night, each weekend, alongside G-Bar Construction, I was putting the work in to get this Ecospace site off the ground, saving money as we went. And here we are. Now, was a passion project on the side. It's now our primary business, and we're making our own little impact in the industry. So we produce, sorry, here we go, that's my spot. We produce high-performing, energy-efficient spaces using eco-conscious materials. This includes prefab, modular housing, cabins, and tiny homes. Our buildings are made from Foreman's SIPS panels, which is a unique selling point in the industry for us. This promotes maximum durability long-term because we have a near zero air leakage in and out of the building. Now, what does that mean? A lot of the homes aren't up to scratch around the country now. standard sticks and homes made from sticks and fluff. You get a lot of airflow getting in, which brings moisture into the homes. With our buildings, you're going to have near zero air leakage, so reducing your heating and cooling loads, you're reducing your energy costs. We quite often do demonstrations within I've got a tiny home myself, and people are just amazed by how warm they are year round. Through the winter you won't need any sort of heating source, and sort of the HRV systems we use cost 1 cent per fan per day to run, so very cheap. This encourages high R ratings, as I mentioned. Our client bases our client base and use cases are permanent homes, temporary homes, tiny homes, batches, granny flats, Airbnbs, tourism retreats, office spaces. The end cases are use cases are endless. It's basically, we do it all. Our current project, sorry if we just go back a couple of shots there. One more shot. Oh, four, sorry. One more. This is our current project that we're doing now. So this is out in Piha, up in Tamaki Makaurau, and that little cabin there, we're basically building 3 of those on the cliff, and this is a really exciting project because that area is a significant ecological area. So basically having about 9 months of planning with consultants like lizard management, people, tree consultancy, the local iwi there, Auckland Council, environmental officers. A lot of planning went into this because it's such a protected area. And really exciting project. Everything we're doing here is off-grid, solar power, sustainable materials, and 3 of those cabins are going to be dotted down the cliff. So that's what we're doing right now. Plans for the future. So we're currently designing the next stage, which will service sort of 30 to 120 metre squares, and that'll service like 1, 2, 3 bedroom homes. We want to start getting into things like papakainga, Māori housing. That's where I see we can have a lot of value long term in the industry, giving back to our people with the skills we have. So very grateful for the opportunity to meet with like-minded people and resources from Tainui in that space. I'll pass it over to my brother now on why we're here and what did we get from this experience. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Kia ora, everyone. I'm not shy, this fella just likes to talk a lot. So, so if I wanted to just touch on today's takeaways, and that sort of goes into our purpose as well for this Pakihi. One of the biggest things that we took away from today was Raniera's first sort of korero. He was the first speaker of the day, and I feel he really just sort of set the tone, the vibe for the rest of the day. And one of the things that I just kept going back to was his korero around the small circle versus big circle mentality and thinking. And for those who probably don't know what I'm talking about, my interpretation of it was that when you're determining the purpose or the why of what we do, you look at where you are now versus your aspirations and where you want to be in the future. And oftentimes those two things can be quite hard to reconcile. The reality is me and my brother have built this company from the ground up. And just as sort of like a side note, we grew up outside of Aotearoa, and the connection was limited to our whānau, our mother, our beautiful nan, all of our aunties and uncles, and our cousins. But in terms of business, the connection there, it was always sort of around our mindset was more, the typical business mindset of around tau, Pākehā, that sort of way of thinking. And it's gotten us a very long way, and we've learned a lot with that, and I think that sort of comes back to the way that our father sort of instilled his values in us. Work hard, take pride in everything you do, and the work will come. And it's a really, really good sort of kaupapa to have. At the same time, we've always sort of worked within these two realms of Te Paka and Te Māori, and trying to reconcile that. And I've just taken that back to what Raniera said. Where we are now as a business versus where we want to be. The biggest takeaway for me today is all of the keynote speakers that spoke after Raniera, they provided the sort of pathway. Because another thing that sort of Raniera said with the small circle, big circle thing is making that pathway, finding that pathway of how can we get from here to there. And it's almost like Raniera, he gave us the inspiration, and then the rest of the keynote speakers, they provided the pathway of how to get there. And I guess in saying that, it just sort of fills me with a lot of sort of gratitude. Just being able to come here and learn from all of the sort of wisdom and knowledge of all of our keynote speakers that have spoken over the weekend. That to me is sort of reconnecting with our whakapapa, with Te Ao Māori, and finding a new way forward to reach our aspirations, which we've always had from the outset. So yeah, I guess in a really roundabout way, that's been the biggest thing that I've taken from that. Yeah, obviously that sort of speaks to our points of all of the exposure that we've had, to all of the wealth of knowledge that we've been given today, embracing more tikanga Māori in our business, and just embracing that side altogether. So yeah, just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who's made this weekend possible. We're extremely grateful, and I don't think I could ever stop sort of talking about what we've taken from today, taken from this weekend, really. It's been immense.
Thank you, Whānau. Yeah, that middle quote there, if I dream alone, if we dream, we build together. I believe it was it Te Puea that said that? And that's another really big quote that's resonated with me. Are we able to use that for our Ecospace slogan? Kia ora whānau, thank you for listening, and thank you Waikato Tainui for that.